Hey everyone, Arbiter Wolf here with another weekly video. So this week was Comics Week. I focused heavily on doing the comic. But before I started doing the comics for the week, I decided that I was going to practice a little bit of doing the characters in the front facing position because that's generally where my characters are always facing. But really what I wanted to start trying to do is just being able to draw my characters multiple times in a row. That way, when I start drawing them on the comic itself, it's not like I'm doing it for the first time every single time. And I eventually wanted to get to the point where I was actually just drawing it from memory and I could do kind of a little like practice of like maybe 5 or 10 minutes of trying to draw the character in a position that I learned from the previous week for practice week. So that's what I'm kind of going with for kind of drawing these here. But I will say I didn't get nearly to the amount that I really wanted to do, but it's a good start. So hopefully for this upcoming practice week, I'll be able to do some more positions and then I can kind of practice it when I do comic week with practicing the characters in those positions. But moving into the comic for this week, I will say that I did two of these comics. You're going to be able to see the next comic the following week for practice week, so you guys get to look forward to that. But for this comic, I guess I'll start with the good. I will say that the heads were feeling a little bit better. I think just practicing doing the characters beforehand was definitely helping. I will say though, when I draw the head a little bit larger, it kind of looks a little off to me. Because when I'm practicing, I'm drawing them like multiple heads on kind of a page, and those are smaller, but when it comes to like drawing for the comic, the head's a lot bigger. And it just feels just, I don't know if it's just the fact that I'm enlarging it and it looks off to me, or if it's actually looking off because there's something wrong with it. But I guess I'll just kind of keep playing around with things when it comes to that. I did like trying to play around with facial expressions. The reference I was kind of using for the week was one from a show called The Warrior Princess and the Barbaric King. And I don't really get to watch a whole lot of anime anymore. I'm pretty busy, so I kind of get my anime through like clips on YouTube. And this came across my thread, and I just kind of liked how the expressions were just kind of funny. So I found a reference that was from it, and I kind of tried to copy that for one of these panels here. But as for things that I think need to improve, I think just in general, my perspective needs to get better. It's a lot of just all the same stuff of just perspective needs to improve. My inking skills need to improve more, and I'd like to start trying to do a little bit of shading, but I also don't want to be like doing this thing where I'm focusing too heavily on the shading and not getting the base of the drawing correct. But I will say for the comic, it is feeling better, and I think the more and more that I keep doing it, the more time that I can put into trying some other stuff and experimenting. Overall, for the week, I would just say it was kind of okay. I didn't quite get to where I wanted to with practicing drawing more characters of mine. I got the two comics done that I wanted to get done, so that was good at least. But overall, there's still some time that I left on the table, and I felt like I could have got a lot more done. But hopefully, I can improve that for next week, for practice week, and then improve it for the following week when I do comics again. So that is pretty much all I really had for this video. If you guys like the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys all in the next one. Thanks.